This is a More Than Just Podcast production.
Welcome to Spotcast Season 9, Episode 3. My name is Tim. I am in Toronto, Ontario, and I'm joined by Jonathan Kuline in Lawrenceville, Bristol, New Brunswick.
Hello there, kids.
And we also have Hyman Lopez Jr. on the line in Seattle, Washington.
How's it going?
Going pretty well. By the way, Jonathan, I got this shiny new mute button on my microphone now.
Ooh, shiny.
Yeah, so no more coughing and farting in the background.
And dog barking and...
Dog barking, and yes. Well, the dogs still bark, but, you know, I'll try to get them not to bark when
you didn't get the miracle button installed?
No, I didn't get the miracle. I actually did find the miracle button. You gave us a collar, I think, that you can push to make the dogs stop making noise or whatever.
I did, yes. I did give it.
And I remember it bothered your son more than anything else.
It makes a very, very high-pitched noise that only dogs and clearly my son can hear.
Mm-hmm. But he's not barking anymore, so...
in fairness, I haven't heard my son bark in ages, so that's good.
Yes, yeah. So it does work. All right, so from a fact-check point of view, I don't know... Did I not listen to the episode? I'm sure I listened to the episode. Didn't I listen to the episode? I'm sure I did. Yeah. I'm going to go with yes, I did.
And yet we were perfect.
I know. Well, yeah, we were perfect. We were perfect. All righty. Yeah, so let's dig into the headlines. Oh, look, it's me. So we were talking about, I think we mentioned For All Mankind maybe once or twice in the past, a little while. But yeah, it's season 5 is coming to your Apple TV Plus account sometime soon. So yeah, and I've got a link here to the clip. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see it.
Oh, sorry. I've not watched this series. So we've gone beyond real time. I know it's alternate timeline, but we've gone...
Oh, it left real time the minute the rocket launched, so...
But like, I was like, oh, it looks like they're on Mars or something, so they're in the future now. It's not just alternate history, it's alternate future.
Well, to be honest with you, that's a good question. I'm not sure where, in fact, the season 5 is going to take place. We can look that up on IMDb, and I will follow up as we continue the show, at which point we'll throw over to Jonathan.
Well, my comment on that is I have not watched any of it. It has been on my to-do list for 4 seasons, and now it'll be on there for 5 seasons. And not for a lack of want, just I haven't made it a priority. And it's an interesting concept for a show. I just haven't gotten around to it. But and in that vein, I have not watched this trailer because I don't want to spoil what happened in the previous 4 seasons either. So I will get to it. Is my moral on that one.
Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, it's from the producers of Battlestar Galactica, so it's got a grain of truth in it somewhere. But it's basically what if the Russians had beat the Americans to the moon, and then all the things that followed after that, right? So because the Americans won the race theoretically, and the Russians kind of backed off and went in a different direction, right? So, but this is like the sort of future, and there's characters that are. I mean, if Joel Kinnaman's still in it, then it can't be the far future because he was one of the astronauts on the first bunch of missions. So, yeah. Or now he's like the flight director or whatever he was in season 4. Anyway, so yeah, we'll see where it goes.
All right, I'm up next, and it's another trailer. We got the trailer for it's a teaser trailer for a Daredevil Born Again season 2. It's very much a teaser trailer in that it's like there must be like 48 scenes in a minute. It just keeps like quickly flipping from thing to thing to thing in like sensory overload mode. I can't say this is one of the best teaser trailers I've ever seen in that all I know is that I saw the Kingpin and I saw Daredevil and I saw Jessica Jones and a lot of scenes that moved really fast. It's good to know that they are staying on the pace they said they would. It's coming out at the end of March on Disney Plus. But the trailer didn't say anything about what's coming other than to confirm, which we already knew, which is that Kristen Ritter is coming back as Jessica Jones, which is great news. But other than that, I don't know what else you're supposed to take away from this trailer. Did you boys watch this one?
No, I didn't catch the trailer, no.
Yeah, I saw this one and I enjoyed seeing Jessica Jones come back. I also like the character of the person I referred to as Baby Pin, the assistant who's trying to be a little kingpin. And I was not the only one who noticed Foggy, and people were like,
Oh,
Is it
really?
a scroll? Okay. Is it a flashback? I lean towards the flashback kind of thing. It's kind of what I think it will be for Foggy.
It will be interesting to see if this is based on any comic book material or if they're kind of doing their own thing. The first season definitely had some elements of some of the recent Daredevil comics, and by recent I mean within the last 2 decades. It will be interesting to see if they pick up some of those storylines, but clearly there's a much bigger storyline happening there. Obviously, we ended last season with Deadpool sort of down but not out and looking to sort of recruit his own helpers to try and get back against the Mayor Fisk. So yeah, I mean, Kristen Ritter, I love that Jessica Jones series. The last season was not great, but the first 2 seasons were really pretty good, and I'm looking forward to more of that.
So just coming back for All Mankind to answer Jaime's question, season 4 starts in 2003, and which is when the fictitious, I'm doing air quotes, Mars mission took place, and it ends on 2012. So theoretically, I guess in terms of like where timeline might be, they might have caught up to present day, but of course now they're well established on Mars, which we know is more or less where we are today in terms of space history, right?
Yeah, in the alternate timeline, we can do sick wheelies and jumps, motorcycle wheelies and jumps on Mars.
Yeah, carry on, Jonathan.
All right, this one I saw today, and it actually made me quite happy. There is a terrific Image Comics series called Sex Criminals, which is being adapted by Kumail Nanjiani and his wife, Emily Gordon, into a new series for Prime Video. They're doing an 8-episode series adapting this book series. The book was, it was a monthly comic. It went for about 30 issues plus a few extras. I'll be curious to know if this is sort of, they're going to wrap the entire story. They're going to do some of the story. Is it going to be an ongoing? They've only said eight episodes. The premise is one of the freshest ones from the past sort of decade, just 10, 12 years. The idea is that it's about this couple it's a woman and her partner who, when they have sex, they have the ability to stop time. And when they have sex and they stop time, they use that to commit crimes. It's a very kind of weird, edgy, funny, dark comic series. And I think from the moment I read it, I was like, this will get adapted someday. It just seemed like a no-brainer because it's such a natural one especially for the modern streaming world where you can push the envelope a little bit. I don't think you'd ever get it on network TV, but a streaming service was bound to snap this up at some point. And it's exciting that I really like Kumail and I like Emily. They wrote what was the name of it? The Big Sick. They co-wrote the Big Sick Amazon movie, and they're both super talented writers. So I'm excited to see what comes of this one. Are either of you familiar with Sex Criminals?
No, but it does raise some interesting questions.
Please.
So they start having sex and time freezes. What precipitates time starting back up again? Like, do they have to have tantric sex or something? Or?
Yeah, I went down the refractory period. It's like, okay, we have 15 minutes to rob this vault.
It's pretty much that. It is they learn by trial and error what stops time for what duration of time. It's not a long time, so there is a haste element to it. And of course, they need to be in proximity to the things that they intend to target for their criminal ways, which leads to some interesting scenarios, given that they have to do the deed, as it were, before they can stop the time, and therefore they have to be in proximity to where they're going to commit the crime. You can put the math together on that one, but it's an interesting concept, and I'll be curious to see who they cast and how they decide to move forward with this one. But I think it's a really fresh idea and kind of fun, and obviously sexy, and I think there's a lot of potential for this one to be a winner.
Cool.
And for those listening who may be interested, I highly recommend the graphic novels or the comic floppies if you want to get those. But it's terrific. It's a terrific read. It's Matt Fraction and Chip Zdarsky. Chip is a Torontonian, artist, fantastic. Also a fellow journalist. Chip is not his real name. Who is a friend of a friend, and he's really blown up over the past few years. He's become a really talented writer and artist, and so anything he does, I'm usually on board for, anyways. But yeah, great,
cool.
All right. This one I saw today, and I was actually kind of intrigued by. So every year, the United States Library of Congress adds films to its National Film Registry. And they add these films that have, quote, cultural, historic, or aesthetic importance. And what they do is they preserve copies of these films, in theory, in perpetuity. They are considered important works of American art. And so, we get a new list every year. They tend to look at, it's not just like what are the most recent movies. They take a look at the long game of, what else, has been inducted. So that if you look at the list that I've got here in our show notes, some of these movies go back as far as 1896. But for our purposes, I thought it was interesting because there's some real sci-fi, horror, fantasy bangers in here this year. The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing, 1982, has been inducted this year. The Karate Kid, 1984, always a good one. The Truman Show, which I consider a pretty close to a sci-fi movie.
Yeah, definitely.
The Incredibles, the terrific Brad Bird animated Pixar movie. Inception, the Christopher Nolan movie, 2010. And Grand Budapest Hotel, 2014, the Wes Anderson. So those are among the new inductees.
You forgot to mention the Karate Kid.
No, I mentioned Karate Kid.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure.
Yeah, no, there's it's an interesting list if you ever go through sort of to see the full list of what's been named for preservation. Some stuff you would absolutely expect, and some stuff you're like, wow, really? But it's interesting.
Well, I have to say, clearly this has flown under somebody's radar because I'm sure they would have things to say about this.
Yeah. I would okay, forget I said anything. We're just going to cut this part out of the podcast. Don't draw any attention to the good things that are happening.
Nobody listens to this podcast, so it's pretty safe.
Okay, fair enough. Were you guys surprised, pleasantly or otherwise, by this list and what's been added in here? And Jaime, I'm particularly curious, given this is your country's heritage, how you feel about this.
It's a pretty interesting list, and it starts right off with this like curveball. The older films were the ones I gravitated towards. The Tramp and the Dog, 1896. Which is a per Wikipedia, and apparently they have the entire film. It's like a minute and a half.
Really,
this silent film of this this tramp who
is it Charlie Chaplin or Charlie Chaplin?
No, but it's like the Charlie Chaplin style of tramp as opposed to like the stamp kind, if people are thinking of that. And this guy jumps over the fence to, steal this pie that's cooling on the windowsill as they're wont to do, and then gets attacked by the family bulldog, and then pratfalls happen. It's a pretty short sort of thing. It's I suppose pretty notable because it is 1896. I'm like, man, did they have movies back then? I always think of that as like a 1900s thing, not a 1800s thing.
Yeah, and this literally would be a silent movie, right? This would be something, pre-audio, so it's purely visual experience. It is genuinely a quote-unquote movie. It moves. It's a series of photographs that move. So, yeah.
Yeah, and notably, these are already in, but apparently Blade Runner and Night of the Living Dead are already in there. But I want to talk about the Thing, because you'll be surprised to find out I don't think I've ever seen The Thing.
Wow, really?
However, I heard the other day that it's an amazing movie and everybody should watch it.
It's a great movie. It's a genuine thriller. A lot of movies lay claim to the term thriller and don't have a lot of thrills. This one, there's a real thrill factor of like, oh my God, what's going to happen next kind of vibe. Carpenter's, he's a genius. So,
and I heard there's like an ending. There's a couple of potential endings to some of the characters, and Carpenter said yes, it's for sure. And then they asked Kurt Russell. He said, "What are you kidding?"
Yeah.
So yeah, I got it now. And now I'm curious to see it.
There is some ambiguity to it for sure. And again, it came out in 1982, and it was not, this was post Halloween, so Carpenter was making a name for himself, but it wasn't exactly a blockbuster. It did well, but it definitely has a huge cult following.
Yeah, is this that big sort of like monster looking thing? Is that the thing I'm thinking of? Or I'm thinking of Swamp Thing, right?
You're thinking of Swamp Thing. The thing is, you got to watch it.
You got to watch it. Okay, we'll leave it there.
There you go. Okay, and last for me, sad news this week. We lost a comic book icon, Sal Buscema, who was one of the longest serving members of the Marvel Comics art crew, responsible for co-creating Rom the Space Knight, The Defenders, and who worked for decades and decades and decades in comic books, drawing books like The Hulk, Spectacular Spider-Man, New Mutants, tons of stuff. He passed away this week. He was a couple of days shy of his 90th birthday. He was just a workhorse. He was one of those people that, you knew exactly what you were getting in his books. You knew this sort of dynamic motion quality that he had. His work, when you look at it now, obviously it's not up to modern standards, but it just is so much of its era in the 70s, 80s, 90s. He was just a staple. He was just one of those artists that was all over Marvel Comics. His brother, his younger brother, John, was also a comic book artist and famously drew a number of Marvel comics in the 60s and 70s and 80s. He was one of the first artists that I really got to know, John Buscema, because he drew the Avengers when I was a little kid, and I loved his stuff. But big life. He's won countless awards in the industry. He's made it to Hall of Fames and everything else. He is somebody who every comic fan of that era knows, and he will be missed. He was a absolute icon.
Looks like Captain America fighting himself was one of his bits of artwork that I knew.
Yeah. I mean, if you go back and just put his name into a search and go look at his work, there are a number of covers and splash pages and stuff that are really recognizable. And he was just part of that, Marvel in its, just wild and crazy heyday, just when they were just pumping out, all kinds of characters and books and teams and stuff. Again, his run on Hulk and his run on Spider-Man in particular are filled with iconic characters and matchups and fights and all kinds of stuff. And there's a real cult following for the character Rom, which has kind of fallen by the wayside a little bit. It was a action figure tie-in kind of thing from the early 80s. It disappeared because of a rights issue for a long time. It got reprinted a few years ago for the first time in decades, and so there's sort of a new rediscovery of that. But anyway, Sal, we honor you. You were a hell of an artist, my friend.
All right. Well, my next story is a real quick one. This is I just saw this just before we were starting recording that Sam Mendes is working on a 4-part Beatle documentary, I guess, making of sort of cinematic films. But I thought it was interesting that I don't know the other two actors who are playing John Lennon and Paul McCartney, but Joseph Quinn is playing George Harrison, and Barry Keoghan is a Irish actor. He's playing Ringo Starr. He's been in a few things you may have seen over the last little while, like the Banshees of Inisherin or whatever it was called. What was that one?
Yeah,
Inisherin, that one, and a few other movies. You've seen him around, but you recognize his face. So it's kind of an odd guy to be playing Ringo Starr because he's got a very distinctive look.
Well, for our crowd, he is the cameo at the end of the Robert Pattinson The Batman movie.
Right.
He's the guy. He's the guy.
The guy
who's going to play an important role in the next movie,
which is
The Man Who Laughs.
The Man Who Laughs. Okay. All right. Anyway, yeah, so that's something coming out, and don't worry about it. It's like not coming out till 2028, so it's some time to mull about it. I'm sure it'll be. And it's interesting because the picture they showed is of the four of them. They're all different heights, and the Beatles were pretty much the same height. So what can I say?
They're going to need some platforms.
They're going to need some platforms. All right. Well, that brings us to the main part of the show where we start talking about something Star Trek related. And this time we are continuing the exploration of Star Trek Starfleet Academy, Season 1, Episode 4, Vox in Excelso?
Excelso.
Is that something that the Doctor had said? But yeah. And this one is another, I guess, exposition of the Klingon character, right? The Klingon student.
Yeah, Jayden.
Jayden, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I made you have an elevator pitch?
I don't really have a spicy, saucy one. I went pretty on the nose that Jayden must come to grips with his cultural heritage as he learns terrible news about his own family and the Klingon diaspora.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got?
I flipped a line from the show, which is a Klingon problem requires a Klingon solution.
Well, mine is related to that. Mine is you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it think.
Well done. Well done. Yeah. So this I thought was an interesting one because, we dealt with a lot of the stuff from the burn in Star Trek Discovery, this event that destroyed all the dilithium and caused chaos throughout the universe. And we've seen some of the effects of that. Obviously, we know what happened with the Federation, that it basically they lost the ability for warp travel and they, retreated. A lot of races retreated, and we followed up with some of them. But we didn't, in spite of the fact that we've had Jayden around for the last 3 episodes. And I think we kind of took it for granted. Well, Klingon at the Academy, well, I guess that makes sense. But we really hadn't dug into what happened with the Klingons as a result of the burn. And we got some pretty, if you'll pardon the pun, explosive news about what happened to the Klingons in this episode.
Did they blow up Kronos again?
Kronos is gone. Kronos is completely.
But didn't they
gone.
blow it up in undiscovered country?
It was Praxis,
like
the moon.
That was Praxis. That's one of the moons. That was one of the moons of Kronos. Here, they kind of say it in passing, but it definitely grabbed my ears where they say, Kronos basically, when the dilithium went up, Kronos went with it. It's always been a geologically chaotic planet with, volcanoes, open volcanoes, and, a certain type of environment. And I guess when the burn happened, the whole planet went up in smoke, and the Klingon people are in pretty dire straits by the time we get around to this episode, to the point where they're not on the verge of extinction, but they're refugees, right? They are traveling around with nowhere to call home.
We also find out some history about our Chancellor lady,
Nala.
Yeah, Nala. She's had a relationship or something with one of the elders, I guess. 100 years ago or before anybody on this current timeline were born, right? So.
Well, hopefully it wasn't 100 years ago because he said he's 100. So
okay, well, yeah,
but yes, at some point in the past,
80 years ago. Okay,
yeah, exactly. It's a pretty interesting episode. Way for us to sort of get a backstory for Jayden and to sort of see where he fits, and it's good because in the episode you and I spoke about last week, Tim. While Jaime was off, we talked about how they had really spent the first few episodes focusing on Nala and on Caleb, and had really kind of treated the other characters as supporting characters. So I was really glad that we kind of shifted the focus to someone else. And we did get a fair amount of time with Caleb and Nala here. They are still, I think, our sort of 2 main-ish characters in an ensemble. But I was really happy to see that they kind of gave us more stuff for other people to do, including, Jayden. We learn a little bit more about how he came to the Academy. And, we knew that he was kind of a weird fit for the Klingons in that he wants to be a healer. So we knew that he was not necessarily going to be popular with the Klingon way of life that we know. But again, we know that we're also, 700 years further in the future than we've ever dealt with Klingons too. So who knows? I liked getting a chance to get to know him and to get to know, catch us up on where we're at with the Klingon people.
Yeah, and there was also the thing with Darum, where Darum comes and teaches him hang on, I wrote it down here, the chant, the breathing chant, pe, ke, pe, ula, cha,
I believe that's pronounced heated rivalry.
Is that? I was gonna say, like, was there not a moment there for
There was
a second?
100% a moment there.
So is Darum the character you said that can go both ways, or
yes,
was it
Darum explicitly says in his earlier episodes that their species are pansexual.
Okay,
I missed that, so I was a little surprised when it happened. I was like, "Whoa, this is getting pretty steamy here." Like, I know this is like Riverdale in space, kind of show, but I missed that line. I was like, "Bro, they're going hard into the paint here for this." So
you got that vibe as well.
Absolutely, and it does not appear to have been reciprocated by Jaden, which kind of puts an awkward sort of tint to it. But
I think there was a moment. Come on.
Well, there's definitely Darum definitely, when he's in his chant and he's holding his hands, he looks at his lips. Darum looks at Jaden's lips.
Darum, yes. Jaden, I felt like wasn't necessarily reciprocating.
No, I don't think so. I don't think as much. I think he realized what Darum was doing and was like, not my bag. Now, that's not to say it isn't in perpetuity, but I think in the moment, I think he was like, hey, wait a minute, what's happening here?
Yeah, this will turn Miller's head, I'm sure.
Oh, wait for the tweets tomorrow.
Yeah, I know, but and it's interesting the timing too, because you did mention the heated rivalry thing, because that's only become, well, I would say, in the last few weeks or maybe month that it's sort of taken off, right? And this would have been filmed before time, right? Like it was like months ago, before the last season of Strange New Worlds being done, right? This is one that was done south of me, I think, like just in my area, as opposed to the other one was filmed in Mississauga.
Yeah, I think they replaced Discovery's setup south of you with Starfleet Academy, and they're continuing to shoot Strange New Worlds in Mississauga.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's like, I've always said this, like you get one movie about a volcano and somebody else comes out with a movie about volcanoes, like within the same time frame, right?
Oh, and heavens forfend, we have multiple shows where people are, ambiguous about their sexuality. Like, give me a break. No, it's 100% a coincidence, but I literally wrote in my notes, oh my goodness, the heated rivalry crowd are going to love Trek this season.
Yeah, for sure.
But it was good too, because sometimes these shows, and Trek less so, but sometimes science fiction shows can be a little overly macho, a little overly, Captain Kirk has to sleep with every woman he encounters. So does William Riker. Stuff like that does happen. This sort of overt machismo kind of vibe. I like the fact that, there was this sort of, whether or not it was a romantic or a sexual moment, it was definitely an intimate moment between two men. And I think that that's good. And I do think that even the up and down of this episode between Caleb and Jaden, where they clearly care about one another, they are clearly becoming closer friends, but also there's some push-pull between their upbringing, between their cultural upbringing, between their experiences. Complex male relationships exist too. It doesn't have to be, a period drama between, women for there to be, conversations about, deep emotions and conflict. It's nice to see that in sci-fi. It doesn't have to be, I sleep with all the girls. I think that's good. It can be about strong and complex male friendships and romances.
Well, that's true. That is how basically relationships work, right? It's like, we can't pretend that we just go into the locker room and smack each other with towels and stuff like that, right?
Oh, so. Did we stop doing that? I didn't get the memo.
Apparently not. Yeah.
Okay. And there was also, there's a few different good interactions here. I thought the scene between Laura and Jaden, where, because we had already known that she was part Klingon, and all this stuff comes out at the beginning of the episode. Oh, not only are the Klingons in dire straits because Kronos is destroyed, but also this ship that may have included Jaden's parents may also have been destroyed. And, we didn't really see that connection between Jaden and Laura. And this is the first time where she sort of says, I should have talked to you sooner. I should have made a point to speak to you as your Klingon elder.
As an elder, yeah.
And, because she does look much more, I would say, Jem'Hadar than she does Klingon, I think it's easy to forget that they dropped that in. And it was nice that they brought that back out and said, this is a serious part of who she is. This is how she was raised by her mother. This is a critical part of who this character is, irrespective of how she looks. And I thought that was a really interesting one too, because I'm speaking to someone who is biracial, that sometimes one race isn't as prominent as the other, and people take things for granted, right? People assume they know who you are based on what you look like.
True, but that was also a thread in the show, because everybody was expecting him to be all like heartbroken and sad about the possible loss of his family or whatever, or the fact that Klingons don't have a home, and he was like pushing back against that. They were talking about how they have to pussyfoot around him, and he's like, "You don't have to pussyfoot around me," right?
Yeah.
Sort of thing. But it's interesting that so Gemini and Darum, they have an interaction with him.
Genesis,
yeah. Caleb, what did I say?
Gemini.
Genesis, whatever. Some shiny object woman. And Caleb and her, they're sort of like, offering to help him out. And he's like, I don't need your help. Don't take pity on me, kind of thing. And then, but even Sam, to a certain extent, and she's overly cheery, right? And the sort of argument that they have on the when you get the two males, sparring against each other on the debate, podiums, right? And then getting kicked out by the Doctor, which is, pretty hard to do, but they did it.
Yeah.
And that's when beforehand, Durham comes and sort of offers his coaching technique of this chant, and then like you said, Laura, I think you said her name was, she comes in and she takes on the role of the elder, right? And so everybody's sort of giving him something he needs, right?
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean, what did you like and not like about this one?
I like the way they resolved in a very Star Trek kind of way of like, how do we handle these two different cultures? A culture that is wanting to help beyond all reason and beyond sensitivity of the culture it's trying to help, and a culture that really needs help, but would lose its identity if it was given a handout. So the weaving through the story of the myths of Kalis, or Kalish if you prefer, and how it resolves in the Battle of Fan Alpha. Of like, well, you didn't give us this thing, we beat you up, wink wink, right? So we can tell the story of like how we were dishonored by the Federation in a mild way, but we decided to conquer this planet and take it from them.
They claim it at the end.
Yeah.
That's the thinking part I was talking about earlier.
It's it's the closest we had for pew pew pew. There was like literal pew pew pews, but like kid gloves pew pew pews.
It was still kind of fun. I had that as my best pew 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 too, and the reason I did was at least that was a moment where you could see like, hey, what a 32nd century Klingon ships look like. What are some of the other Starfleet vessels like? For me, it was a kid gloves fight, but it was still kind of cool to see all those ships pew pewing in even if they weren't trying their hardest. Easter eggs. What did you guys have for your Easter eggs?
I got nothing really.
Oh, USS Riker. That's when I
the USS Riker. Yeah. I got that one. The Klingon music that they play when the Klingons show up.
Okay.
Yeah, they had the little
original
theme
series.
It's like TMP.
No, it was the stuff from I want to say Star Trek 2 was the first time we heard that. That sort of horn fanfare of like when the Klingon vessels decloak in Wrath of Khan. And the other one that I thought was interesting is Aaron Sati is what they named the event after. And Aaron Sati is a character that comes up in TNG because if you recall the episode where there is a kind of hell-bent there's a hell-bent judge who's basically trying to do a witch hunt within Starfleet. And she is, her name is Rear Admiral Nora Sati. She's an older British lady. If you can remember the episode, I'm just going to look it up. But I can't remember
the drumhead.
The drumhead. Thank you, Jaime.
Mm-hmm. Classic.
And she basically is, best known for the fact that her father was Aaron Satie, who was this master debater and this sort of pivotal person in Starfleet history, and she takes a disliking to how Picard is running things and tries to basically do a little bit of McCarthyism on the Starfleet and in turn on him, and is basically trying to set him up that he is a force for evil within the Starfleet, as opposed to what he truly is, which is one of the best of. What do you remember about that episode, Jaime?
If I recall, there was like a Klingon saboteur on the Enterprise.
Right.
And when they catch him, he's like, hey, I was actually helped by another guy. I'll roll up on him if you let me know. And they start doing, I think Worf is a part of this investigation too, where they start doing all this stuff to try to figure out who it might be. And it turns out this like supposedly half human, half Vulcan guy is like half Romulan instead.
Right.
And so he becomes real suspicious because like, oh, well, bro, you lied. You shouldn't even be in Starfleet. It really does lead to that, like, rolling up on people's liberties is a bad thing. Who would have thought? Thank you, 1980s Star Trek. And also that, the villains don't necessarily have twirling mustaches.
Yeah.
They clothe themselves in what appears to be good.
Yeah.
So we have to be ever vigilant. I was going to say it was Picard's speech, but I'm like, oh no, that's right. It's his speech that references Satie's speech.
Yeah, he uses one of her father's quotes against her in the hearing, and she flips her lid, and then the other admiral who's part of that base is basically like, okay, you're done. Like, no more investigation. You've gone too far here. Yeah.
So did you know that Michael Dorn said that The Offspring and The Drumhead were his two favorite episodes?
Ooh.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I remember it standing out. I remember like absolutely being reviled or being revolted by that woman just because she, was going after everybody and accusing everybody of everything. And yeah, I remember thinking how unpleasant I found her.
So here's something else. It's also revealed in All Good Things that then Rear Admiral Nora Satie is the flag officer who officially gave Captain Picard the command of the Enterprise D.
Interesting.
There you go.
Weird though, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Quotes. I got a couple of quotes. I will not eat anything that didn't die in a fair fight, from Jaden. And this may be the quote of the week. As a matter of fact, this one may be a good one to spread around on your social media channels if you have a chance. Avoiding reality does not make it disappear, said Jaden.
Yeah, that's a prescient one. Again, like Tim said, they were like filming this like a year and a half ago.
That's what I said.
It's possible they may have filmed this one last year. Who knows? But still, it is very prescient in retrospect. Did anybody else have any other good quotes?
All I got was pay ula cha.
Are you going to get that tattooed somewhere now, or
no? I don't think so. No.
I like the it's not like a great line in and of itself, but it's delivered so well. The interaction between was it Cadet Master Laura and Chancellor Ake of like, you look bad. Thanks,
look bad.
Laura. It's like, it's like casually, very upfront, blunt saying, you look bad.
Yeah, she's definitely a speak your mind character.
I don't know what this counts as. It's not really like an Easter egg hunt per se, but the doctor, the EMH, accidentally refers to Sam, which I always thought was like short for Samuel or Samantha, take your pick. And it's,
it's
an acronym, Series Acclamation Mill, which when I looked on Wikipedia, that's actually the title of the next episode 5.
Cool.
So
they do mention that in passing in the first episode.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
but
she introduces herself, but she says, "But I go by Sam."
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
Because he begrudgingly calls her Sam during the debate or when she wins.
Yeah,
that's right. Well, I hope this next episode, since it's apparently going to focus on Sam, the holographic peoples or the photonics, as they prefer to call themselves. I really am hoping that Sam does something really cool, so we can refer to them as the photonic torpedo.
I love it.
Yeah, and I got to ask, so what century is this taking place in?
32nd. So this is 30,
so in the
31 something. Yeah.
So in the 32nd century, they still haven't figured out how to get the internet not to glitch occasionally?
Yeah, I did notice that with when Nala's talking with the Admiral, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, I mean, they are supposed to be projecting from like very, very, very long distances. I mean, in even in like TNG era, they had to use like subspace signal boosters and stuff like that to get signals from place to place, and it still took ages, right? So here, they're actually having like, holographic conversations, and in theory, he could have been, at Starfleet headquarters, which is, long, many, many light years away, right?
Mm-hmm. So here's an interesting factoid. So this afternoon when started watching the show last night. It comes out at midnight on my timeline, but so I started watching it, but I couldn't stay awake. So I finished it today, and I noticed that about noon today when I was watching, I went to the IMDb app, and they only had 4 people listed as stars of the show. Like, they had Caleb and Jaden and Holly Hunter. And now I look at it, and there's like they've added in all the characters that I don't know who's been doing this, but I guess maybe they're holding it back till it hits, because I did stop the credits to see who played. Is it Obel Wolchak? Is that the Klingon guy that she meets up with?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, played by a Canadian from Sarnia, Ontario, David Keeley.
Yep. I thought it was interesting too. One thing that they have kind of been a little bit all over the place on is the melanin count on Klingons. It seemed like
he was pretty light. Yeah,
it seemed like for a while there they were casting primarily just black actors to play Klingons in the sort of TNG and Deep Space Nine era. There were still some white actors, but it was, I would say, definitely more so black actors. I think it's, I think it is a nice thing to have a little bit of a spectrum there. I think it definitely caught my eye. That I was like, oh, he's definitely not, a black man, like, which is different. I also thought, it's funny because the way that Jaden looks in the first episode, and I guess in all episodes, he's got that short cropped beard. He looks very sort of, cropped and clean shaven like a Starfleet cadet would. Here we get to see him with his sort of much more natural, a longer beard, longer hair, thicker, dreadlock appearing hair. And I was like, he looks so much better as a natural Klingon. Mm-hmm. But again, I think it speaks to obviously, the uniform, the regulations and all that too. But yeah, it was definitely some moments there. I was like, it definitely added some depth to the Klingon people about, their appearances and that they aren't just monochromatic. I also noted last week I saw an interview with Carice Brooks, who is the actor who plays Sam. Carice was in a great movie that I saw a couple years ago called My Old Ass, which was on Amazon. It was really good. Carice is a non-binary person, and they them. And I thought a really interesting perspective that they brought to the conversation about, playing this character, which doesn't necessarily fall into defined parameters of gender spectrum either. You can make a case that they appear female, but they're not, because they are a photonic character. And that's, Carice obviously identifies as a non-binary person too. So I thought that was an interesting alignment there. And I wonder if we'll see some of that portrayed in next week's episode. Also nobody tell the nitwits down Washington Way, please.
Yeah. Well, what are you going to do?
Yep. So this week we found out what had become of the Klingons. I wanted to ask the two of you, what other well-known Star Trek alien species would you like to know about in the 32nd century that we have not touched on yet?
Have we seen a Vulcan recently?
We did, because we saw one of the cadets is a Vulcan last week. So we haven't got a lot of background, but we know that they are about, and nobody seemed to be panicked about their fate.
Well, it also depends on which timeline we're coming from, because
this is the prime universe.
But in the other one, they
destroyed
Kelvin,
Vulcan,
whatever, they destroyed Vulcan, right? So,
and for all we know, Vulcan is also destroyed here. We don't know. So I guess that's the question. So your answer might be Vulcan.
Vulcan, Romulan, we got to get those guys in there too, right? So,
I guess we could learn more, but we did know that they reunified and they live on Navarre.
Yep. Yeah, we've gotten them a little bit more. That's a good point, Jaime. They did cover that species a little bit in Discovery, right? That there has been this reunification and that they're sort of a merged species again.
Yeah, I think my vote would go towards the Cardassians since they were so central to Deep Space Nine.
That was mine, especially in the wake of the Jem'Hadar stuff. I was kind of curious if we'll get any more sort of DS9-y kind of stuff in there.
Was the Cardassians the people who made the Jem'Hadar or trained them or whatever?
No, but they allied themselves with the Dominion at one point towards the end of the Dominion War, and chaos ensued.
So was the Dominion the one with the white and the male only?
That's the Jem'Hadar, and then the Dominion were the ones who were their masters. They were the shapeshifters that looked like Odo.
Right, the founders.
Okay. Right, okay.
Yeah, the Dominion was complicated because you had the limited shape-shifting founders at the very tippy top of the hierarchy. You had the Vorta, like Jeffrey Combs.
Yeah, the Vorta.
As like the lieutenants. Mm-hmm. And then the shock troops, grunts, were the Jem'Hadar.
And the Vorta were a species as well?
Yeah. They were another genetically modified species.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think the secondary one, if we couldn't get the Cardassians, would be the Ferengi, partially because of the Ferengi just being expanded on DS9. But I'm very curious how they would interact in a post-burn kind of world, because we saw what the Orion Syndicate did, right? Mm-hmm. And it seems like right up the Ferengi's alley as like a rival gang, like the Russian mafia versus like the Chinese triads or something.
Yeah, I think you're onto something. I hope they get into some Ferengi silliness at some point.
It might take a while.
Well, I mean, hopefully this series is going to go on for a while.
10 episodes to go here?
Well, they're only doing 10 for the season, right?
Yeah, so 6 more. This is episode 4, so we're not at the hump yet. Nope. Next week is the hump episode.
There you go.
We're close to it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a word from our sponsor. Now, back to the show.
Jaime, did you catch up on Fallout, or are you still behind?
No, I'm still behind. I'm going to have to binge the series. So Fugue State it is.
Go into the cone of silence.
Yeah, go for it. Fugue State.
The finale is next week, so that's where it's really going to...
Pitter-patter.
Yeah.
Pitter-patter.
Yeah.
All right, what can we say about this one?
Well, definitely a little more propulsive, I would say, than the previous one. We talked about last week how the previous episode was a little glue. It wasn't so much sizzle as it was, or it wasn't so much steak as it was sizzle.
But it was the end of, it was the resolution of the previous one where he turns her in, right?
Right.
Turns Lucy in.
Yeah. And
now we find out that, but in that second episode, Lucy does find her father and at the end of it arrests him, right?
Right.
So now what, right? Sort of thing is where this one starts, right?
Yeah. And this one definitely, like, it's moving a lot of our players to the same kind of, arena here, right? In both in the past and in the present, things are sort of culminating at Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Because we get kind of the story of,
So I have a prediction, and maybe it's because I've been hanging around you too long.
Okay.
I think, what's the name of the ghoul in the Before Time? Cooper. I think Cooper is the one that pushed the button.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
That would be a good twist.
Because, everybody else is heading that way, right? And
well, they're definitely lining up a lot of potential bad guys, but you're right. I think that would be an interesting
otherwise
twist.
he'd be in a vault somewhere, right?
Yeah, although we saw him in the very first episode of the first season, right? We see where he is when the bombs go off, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's true. He's up on the hill.
He's up in a house in the hills with his daughter.
Doing an appearance.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It'd be interesting. That would be a great twist.
Well, the stars are aligning, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's good. I mean, obviously last episode was a little slower. This one definitely starts to move the characters on the board. We get, the Ghoul and was it Thaddeus and
the other Ghoul, Ghoul Jr.
Well, I don't think he's a Ghoul so much, right?
Oh, but he did have a medical episode in the middle of the episode.
He sure did, but not a Ghoul related one, because if at one point he's talking to Cooper and he's like, I'm new to this whole Ghoul thing. I don't really know what's going on.
My nose hasn't fallen
off yet, and I don't know what's going on. And then later in the episode, he loses a limb, and it's just
I thought Cooper was going to whack his nose and knock it off.
We also got the bit where Cooper is, one, we've seen him with the mutants, which are different than the Ghouls. And two, we also get the line about the what did they call it? It was like the modifying. It's in the past. He hears about the modifying stuff, right? That's supposed to be like, it's like alters your genetics. And I think that that's what Thaddeus has, right? Because I think he's not a Ghoul. I think he's either a mutant or he's one of those things. Because I think when the Ghoul looks at him, is like, your nose has fallen off. He's looking at him and he's like, I don't think we are the same at all.
Really? Oh, okay.
I think that's what that look was supposed to convey, was like, I'm not going to say anything. When he's
working with the kids, half of the kids are Ghouls, right?
It's true. And I think he makes an assumption that that's what he is. But I don't. One, he's never had to take that medication that the Ghoul takes.
Okay, right.
And he's also his symptoms are very different, right? And because we've been introduced to these two other possibilities, I think that they're teasing that he's not the same.
Okay.
What that means, I have no idea. But I do think that they dropped enough eggs that he is something other than. And this one was, again, last episode was a little light on the pew pew. Was a lot more people in rooms talking kind of stuff. Here we get Maximus, right? Maximus dresses up in his new set of armor, which is branded as the New California Republic, and goes and has a showdown with some of the Death Claws, which was pretty cool. You know what really struck me in watching this is this episode played like a video game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. With the fighting of the monsters and stuff. Right?
But even before that, when you think about, like, basically they went to an area and they were like Cooper was like, oh, look, this area is being patrolled by these giant deathly beasts.
So let's get some weapons.
So let's go back and get some weapons and some allies and whatever, and then we'll come back and we'll fight them. And it struck me very much as I was watching this, especially because the way the Death Claws are like just kind of patrolling that one area. I was like, this feels very video gamey.
Yeah, 100%. Like they were boss level or something.
Yeah. Which, I mean, hopefully that means that next episode we're going to get, like, the boss fight. As I say, a lot of this stuff seems to be culminating in Las Vegas. We've got Lucy there. We've got her dad there. We've got, all these characters there. They've gotten past the Death Claws now. And then the backstory, obviously, with Cooper is also culminating in Vegas with, Clancy Brown as the president. So how about that? Yeah. There can be only one. It'll be interesting to see how they pull that story together. But clearly, it's going.
Thaddeus is the Ghoul guy, right? Okay.
Yeah. Maximus is the young man who wears the
former
armor.
Squire. Yeah.
And Thaddeus is his former assistant, who is now rotting. Yeah, I did like.
And we had the Stephanie Harper, Annabelle O'Hagan's character, the
backstory,
the Canadian, God forbid, the United States annex of Canada, right?
Yeah, I like when they're trying to catch her and they're like in the suits of Harper going, "Turn around, hoser."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, sure, use those slurs against us.
And that was Natasha Henstridge with her.
Oh, really? Sister. Was it? I didn't recognize her. That's great.
I didn't either. I just saw it in the note there.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Also a genuine noted Canadian.
Mm-hmm. Species.
That was an interesting one too, because we've seen it's been 2 seasons of Steph gaslighting poor Chet, right? Of her being...
Oh wait, I didn't realize that Betty Pearson is Leslie Uggams.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, because I only ever seen her with sunglasses on lately.
That's true. That's true. She doesn't look exactly the same when she's wearing her big blind owl glasses, right?
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been fun after watching Steph gaslight poor Chet for 2 straight seasons for him to finally stand up to her when she's like, guess what? We're getting married. She doesn't even tell him. She just puts up the flyers.
He sees it on a poster on the wall. Exactly.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. And kind of weird because the implication and I think the reality is that she killed the one character off to the side, right? And that's the guy from Severance, right? Cherry. Oh God, what's his name?
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who was, he's not the lead.
He was asking questions.
Yeah, he's not the lead of this show, and he's not even the lead of Severance, but he's a pretty well-known actor now, and he gets killed off screen, which is kind of a little bit weird. Obviously, whatever, but I just thought that was kind of a strange thing. I thought he was going to end up playing more of a role because, after 2 seasons of Severance,
well, they also brought in Nanjiani, right? Or
Kamal, yeah.
Kamal, yeah, and they knocked him off pretty quick.
Well, and they brought in Macaulay Culkin earlier this season too, which was like,
where is he? Did he get killed off?
He did. When they attacked that base, I think he did because remember they're the ones that crucified poor Lucy.
Right.
Yeah. I thought this was a fun episode, and definitely you could feel the sort of the tension and the propulsiveness as this builds towards next week's finale. They did announce that they moved it up. The finales they were coming out.
Woody Thomas is the guy with Zach Cherry.
Zach Cherry. I knew it was Cherry, but I couldn't remember his first name. Yeah, Zach Cherry, and he's fantastic on Severance, and is starting to obviously make a much more better known name for himself because of that. But they moved up next week's episode, so they're not dropping on Wednesdays anymore. They're dropping on Tuesdays. So this week's episode was out on Tuesday, and next week's episode is out on Tuesday. So we don't have to wait as long. Finale season 2, Tuesday, February 3rd.
Yeah, although it says next episode February 4th on IMDb. So.
They are wrong.
Who are you going to believe? Who are you going to believe?
I'm going to believe the social media channels that they said that they're changing the episode releases on.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's what I'm going to believe.
Cool.
All right. Should we bring Jaime back in for Night of the Seven Kingdoms?
Yeah, let's bring him out of the soundproof booth.
Tag Jaime.
Did you enjoy the music we were playing in the soundproof booth?
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Is everybody up to date?
I think we should play it off like what's that, Family Feud? Now we'll ask Jaime the question.
That's right. We all watched season 1, episode 2 of Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
We have. This is a really frustrating show for me. You know why?
Why?
Because I want to see it all now.
Okay.
So you want to binge it all at once?
I don't want to have one episode per week sort of thing. Yeah. This is ridiculous.
And they're short episodes too. They're not like super long.
Yeah, and they said that was, this was going to be a real, departure of the way that they have told Game of Thrones stories before, in that it's focused primarily on, 1 or 2, if you like, characters, and 1 location and 1 story.
So I have a question for Jaime. I don't know, Jaime, did you listen to last week's episode of this fine podcast?
I did.
Oh, you did? Okay. So have you got a clue who Egg is?
Will there be egg on my face if I don't know who he is?
Well, I'm just going to say, having watched Hard Salt Beef episode, did you pick up the hints?
Yeah. How he's so wise and educated beyond his years for a supposedly lowborn orphan, and the I don't know, common theme that everybody is like a Rhaegar, Rhaenyra, and Aegon is a name that's used many, many times, and I think they put numbers when they refer to him in like Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Yeah.
It's like a King Louis the 14th kind of thing,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there was a really good moment in this episode, and it tied back, and I saw somebody put this on social, so it's definitely well out there. A lot of people have made this note, but I noted in the moment, if you recall, there's one of my favorite sequences of episodes in Game of Thrones, the original Game of Thrones, is when Maisie Williams as Arya is captured, and she is working in the castle as the cupbearer for Jaime and Tyrion's dad. And he's there planning. This is in season 2. and he's there, planning battles and stuff like that. And she's kind of eavesdropping in, and she's pouring stuff and whatever. And he asks her questions, and he says something to her, and she says, "Yes, my lord." And he says, "Milord." And she sort of looks at him, and he says, lowborn girls would say "milord," not "my lord." If you're going to hide in plain sight, you have to do a better job. So he clearly knows that she's not who she says she is. In this most recent episode, there is a point at which Egg, when talking to Dunk, says "my lord," and it's a very telling parallel that Egg clearly was not raised in a barn. Yeah. I think the way they're telling this story and without, like pacing things out, building this up, getting us to know the characters and stuff like that, I think it's being handled really well. And it is so much more focused than I think, we're used to the Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, skipping from place to place, jumping all over the place. I found it particularly notable just because, and I'll talk about this more on the watch list, but I've just started a rewatch of Game of Thrones, and I was definitely struck by how much I'm enjoying this sort of one story focus.
Yeah, as opposed to bouncing around. Yeah, exactly.
Well, you just never not that it's a bad thing, and there are so many rich characters, and the stories obviously do blend together, but there's just something nice about it's definitely lighter Game of Thrones set story that isn't 5 minutes with this person, 5 minutes with this person, 5 minutes with this person. We bounce and bounce and bounce and bounce and bounce, which is not bad storytelling. It's just it's a different experience here, where we're with Dunk 95% of the time, Dunk and Egg, and then a little bit of Egg. It's nice to be a little more like on target. Speaking of on target, can we talk about Arlen, Sir Arlen of Pennytree?
Okay.
That first scene, Jaime?
The bravery of Full Frontal, right? You see Full Frontal on the script, you're like, oh, yes. Okay.
Sir
there's some for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Not my bag, but there's probably somebody out there that enjoys. So
they did post again on the socials this week to announce that is a prosthetic.
No, really?
I
never would have guessed.
That kind old man who plays Sir Arlen was not, in fact, bestowed with a broadsword.
Yeah, I was going to say, but and they didn't have the oyster throwing up mistake, right? So
and the other part was from the first episode where he's bent over the tree there.
Yeah,
was also pretty notable, but yeah. It was that was definitely a topic for discussion on Monday morning. I noticed. Is
that what makes him a hedge knight?
No,
because he doesn't have any land or any kingdom or whatever, but he's got some assets, right?
Well, what's funny though is they make a point of saying in both episodes, as Dunk is going around from place to place trying to get someone who remembers Sir Arlen and remembers so that they can vouch for him so that he can enter this tournament. Stuff happens. If you've gone to battle with someone and he mentions all these battles that he fought in and all these lords that he worked for, at some point, someone would have noticed that he was carrying around this claymore, and he would have been an infamous knight. Everyone would have known about Sir Arlen and the caber that he kept in his trousers.
Maybe it's stuff of lore, right? Maybe it was just sort of seen that way.
I don't know. I mean, you'd think that in the if you're under siege or whatever else, at some point you're going to whip it out and go to the bathroom. You think at some point someone would be like, "Good Lord, man, what's that? What's on his shield? Who is that guy?"
Yeah. I think Pink Floyd named a song after him. Careful with that axe, Eugene, right?
I don't know. I thought it was very funny because they were contrasting the beginning of this episode of that with, but no one can remember him. No one remembers him, and no one can remember who this guy is. I'm like,
but all the women did.
I think everybody would remember this guy.
Yeah, you think? Yeah. Different time. It was a different time.
It was a different time.
Sometimes another reading could be that they're, for other reasons, intentionally trying to keep his memory out, as a way to get back. This is like Arlen and Pennytree is like a first ballot Hall of Famer that's not making the cut.
Yes, excellent timing on that joke, Jaime. Well done.
It only works this week for people who are like, what the heck's going on? Quick side note. So Bill Belichick, arguably the greatest NFL head coach of all time, is somehow not a first ballot Hall of Famer, casting doubts on all Hall of Famers, period.
Yeah. If he's not a Hall of Famer, there's no Hall of Fame. It's absurd.
Yeah, it'd be like, oh, I don't know if Gretzky should be in the Hall. It's like, bro, who's supposed to be in the Hall then? Come on.
Yeah. Well, I look forward to next year, the year after, that Brady's first eligible. He won't get in either. It'll be great.
Why? Oh, yeah. Okay.
If they're just going to make a mockery of the thing, why not? This was fun, and we did get a lot of pew pew in this episode too. We got our first look at the actual tournament, right? We got horses and lances and exploding lances and all kinds of stuff. So not only did we get some great character development and discussion points, but we also got pretty explosive and well made and well shot. Purportedly, one of the reasons why they decided to move forward with this project is that for a Game of Thrones property, it is not that expensive. There are no CGI dragons. There's no 1,000 ships. It's horses and shields, right?
Well, they did have a jousting thing today, or in this episode, which some of it must have been CGI'd, right?
I would imagine it would be, but I think you could do a lot of that practically too. I mean,
the splintering wood of the...
Yeah, but you don't have to have the horse part, and you could put that part, maybe some of it's CGI, but I thought it was a reasonable scale for the story, for sure.
Yeah.
And definitely...
Are we going to see him go in the tourney next episode, or we have to wait another episode?
Well, again, I'll just skip briefly ahead to my watch list and tell you I've read the book now, so I'm not going to comment on that. But
all right, okay, fine.
But I will.
How long did it take you to read this book?
3 hours.
Really?
It's a novella. Okay. It's a novella. It took me 3 hours.
Okay.
To read, I'm going to read the next one too, because I got all 3 of them, and they are short. They are. Like, this is not game. I mean, I read the Game of Thrones books. It took forever because, one, George writes a lot of detail, and 2, he has no capacity for self-editing, so they are massive. This is a breeze. I highly recommend, and they're really enjoyable. I'll get into it more on the watch list. Very quick, very enjoyable experience. Hey, guess what, kids?
What?
It's time to talk about the 2026 Spocky Awards.
Woo! Okay, so if I remember correctly, I'm just looking at a list of stuff here that last year we cut it down to 5, and then we each picked a movie to keep.
I think that was what we did. Yes.
Okay, let me just put some spacing in because I realized there's no spacing in this. We have best movie, and then we have best TV show, and then we have...
So while Tim mumbles to himself, we're gonna go through all the categories with. I made a long list for all of the different categories. We are now going to have a spirited conversation where we decide to throw half of these out the window.
So we're not voting for Bill Belichick, right?
No, we will. If he was nominated for one of these, we would definitely elect him in the first ballot.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a robust list, folks. It's a robust list.
Okay, wait, is this TV? No, best actor. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, it should be best actor, best actress, and then most anticipated movie, most anticipated television
TV show. Okay, got it. Yeah.
And then
okay, all right. Okay, I think I got it properly separated now, right?
All right.
Because best TV show, like you said, is nuts in terms of the
best movie. Best movie is a bit of a mixed bag, but best TV show is going to be a bloodbath.
Okay, so let's start with best movie. We've got. Should we just read all the names out and then decide who we're pitching?
Why don't you read this category and we'll just alternate between the 3 of us. We'll read them out and then we'll start hammering tongs.
Alphabetically, I believe.
Yeah, alphabetically. Yes, alphabetically.
Okay, we're starting with 28 Years Later. We're Avatar, Fire and Ash, Begonia. I assume that's right. Captain America, Brave New World, Fantastic Four, First Steps, Frankenstein, K-pop Demon Hunters, Mickey 17, a Minecraft movie, Predator Badlands, The Running Man, Superman, Thunderbolt, and Tron Ares. So the last 5 or so are really good, though. So what do you think?
So are we picking the ones we want to keep, or are we suggesting ones we want to throw off the side of the boat?
I think last year we discussed ones that are definitely, like we all agreed would be definitely in. But have you guys seen most of these or all of these?
I'm okay.
I've not seen Avatar. I'm Begonia.
3, 4.
Frankenstein I've not seen.
Let's see.
I've seen about more than half, just a little bit more than half. And a couple of them are on my to watch now that they're on streaming services I already pay for list, because that's on my to do.
Yeah. Okay. So how do we do this then? What do you?
Well, do we want to just take turns? Pick something out, and we'll debate whether or not it belongs on the list.
Can we drop Minecraft movie?
I would say yes.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's do that. I'm just going to put the strike through on it.
Are there any other easy throws off the side of the boat?
Well, Avatar we could probably pitch. I don't know if has any of us seen it?
No.
Do we care?
No.
No, that's going to be if we had a category for like box office or something. It'd be
people can write in. People can write it in if they feel strongly about it.
Yeah,
yeah,
like people did last year.
I feel strongly enough about the second one to not include the third one.
Which is what?
It sucked.
Oh, Begonia?
No, the Avatar, the second Avatar movie.
Oh, okay. I thought you were, yeah, okay, okay. Yeah. Right. So, Captain America: Brave New World. I don't know if compared to the other movies that are on here on this list.
Far and away the worst Captain America movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we'll just mark it as pitchable for now, and then we can bring it back if we want to. Because I did enjoy 28 Years Later.
Mm-hmm.
I did enjoy Fantastic Four.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I loved Mickey 17.
I loved Mickey 17 too.
Likewise.
I liked Predator: Badlands.
Haven't seen it yet, but I really want to.
And I liked Running. Well, I saw that in the theater, so I liked Running Man. Superman was good. Thunderbolts was fun, and Ares was amazing in 3D on IMAX and on Vision Pro.
How do you feel about K-pop Demon Hunters?
See, that's a questionable one because that's to me it is. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, you're the guy who brought it to the show, so
yeah, I have a hard time putting it in the best picture, best movie category. It's a very good movie. It certainly had a large cultural impact. If we had a category for it, probably feel less bad about pitching it, but I feel like it's a hard sell.
Is it a 3-star movie or a 4-star movie or a 3.5-star movie?
Out of 4 is the criteria?
Out of 5.
Oh, out of 5. It's probably more like a 4.
Really?
I don't think that it's going to be like. I don't think that it goes well against Mickey 17. Granted, they're very different kinds of movies. That's true.
Okay, I'm pitching it. Okay, it's gone.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Frankenstein yet, and have you guys seen it?
I've not. No.
And I've not seen Begonia. So I think
tried the start of the Frankenstein movie, and I just could not.
How far did you get?
10 minutes.
And then you just sort of had better things to do with your life?
I just thought, you know what? I'd rather spend my time watching something else that I'd rather watch at this point.
Okay, well, folks, if you're listening to this and you're going to vote, you can always write Frankenstein in.
It is nominated for an Academy Award. To be fair, it is nominated for Best Picture at the Academy Awards.
Really?
Yeah.
Compared to what? Okay, all right. So anyway, I'm sticking with the fact that this is a sci-fi, category for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't say anything about Begonia. I've not seen it. 28 Years Later was a good follow-up to the first 28 Days Later. I enjoyed it. I've watched it a couple of times. I've tried to watch it twice, but I went to the theater to watch that one, and I really enjoyed it.
So we're currently sitting at 9 movies. We want to get it down to 6. Is that the?
Well, I mean, we could go with the 9 we have.
I was going to throw one more immediately off the boat, it would be Superman.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you see it in 3D, though? Did you see it in 3D? No.
I'm happy to have the discussion, but I don't think that was anything... Like, it was good, but I don't think it was great.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it has funny moments or whatever. Like I said, I've watched it. I saw it in the theater. I saw it in the theater in 2D with you, and then I saw it in 3D on Vision Pro, and it's much, much better in 3D. So, But
I mean, how do you feel about Superman?
Have you seen it?
I have seen it, and I think I agree with your logic there. That it's a good movie. Is it great? Does it go to the top of the pile? Maybe not.
But I guess the question is, should we leave it there because other people may feel differently or strongly? It's just a matter of whether
like I said, I don't have a problem having 9 movies. Right?
Okay.
So,
well, we can
leave that
9.
as a beefier category then.
Okay.
Let's be
all right.
more brutal than the others, I suppose.
Okay, good luck being brutal in this next category because it's tough.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Yeah. Okay. This is the best TV show. Who's going to read it out?
I guess I'll go next. So best TV show, sci-fi fantasy. Here's the starts in alphabetical order. Alien Earth, Season 1. Andor, Season 2. Daredevil, Born Again, Season 1. Doctor Who, Season 2. Eyes of Wakanda, Season 1. Foundation, Season 3. Gen V, Season 2. Invincible, Season 3. Ironheart, Season 1. Marvel Zombies, Season 1. Murderbot, Season 1. Pluribus, Season 1. The Sandman, Season 2. Severance, Season 2. Silo, Season 2. Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Season 3. Stranger Things, Season 5. And Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Season 1.
Yeah, this is a tough one.
This is a tough category. It's a tough category.
There's some you can knock out. I feel like Ironheart, nobody's going to feel sad if we knock that one off the mountain.
No, I don't care.
Ironheart could go. I feel like, with due respect, Doctor Who Season 2 could go.
Yeah, definitely. I can't even remember what it was about.
Yeah.
That's the last Chuti Katwa season?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
I think Sandman Season 2 could go.
Well, I haven't seen it yet, so that's okay.
We'll do that one on principle.
All right. Yes, true.
What about Marvel Zombies Season 1?
Again, good, not in the category of this other stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And I think Eyes of Wakanda falls in that category too. I think it was good, but not worthy.
I liked Motorbot. I read all the books, but I'm gonna pitch it compared to the other shows.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen it?
Yes.
Oh. You did, Jaime? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm okay pitching it because right now I'm already like holding out lines. I'm like, all right, we're going to get into fisticuffs if Andor Season 2 gets pitched. Likewise with Severance Season 2 and Pluribus. I'm like, okay, those are the three that are in for sure, right?
Yeah. And what about Strange New Worlds then? Or Stranger Things? The two Strange movies.
Okay, so let's go further to the beginning here. I think Daredevil Born Again Season 1 wasn't good enough to be on this list.
Okay, good.
I think Eyes of Wakanda Season 1 wasn't good enough to be on this list.
Wait, is that even a show?
It is. 4 episodes.
I don't think I watched it, so.
Yeah, and it wasn't bad, but it just wasn't in this category.
It's on my airplane watching list, just like I literally watched Marvel Zombies on the airplane.
Yeah.
So okay, I think we all agree on. I haven't finished Invincible Season 3, so I have no opinion.
I thought it was really strong.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like Gen V Season 2 was good, and I really liked it. But I don't think it holds a candle to a lot of the other. If we're trying to pare the list down, I don't think it holds a candle to that.
Scatologically, it's good, but yeah. Funny? Scatologically funny?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to be mildly unfair and say, even though I did enjoy Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 1, I'm unfairly saying it's kind of like Batman the Animated Series, but it's like a, Temu version. Again, being very unfair to it.
Okay, so we've got left 1, 2, 3, 4.
You could vote for
5,
that in
6,
Best New
7,
Show, Jaime,
8,
if you really liked
9.
it
We
that
have
much.
9. We have 9 shows left, so we can.
We'll call it there.
Yeah, because there may be people who like Stranger Things.
Stranger Things Season 5 was, a little divisive, but I don't think it was that divisive. I think overall people were pretty happy.
The journey back to where do the hobbits live?
Oh yeah,
Hobbiton was a bit long. Yeah, back to the Shire. That was long. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. This next category is going to be a slam dunk.
Best Star Trek.
There was one Star Trek show last year.
Do you think people are going to write in other shows?
It would be amusing to see what they write in.
Yeah.
If you can think of a brand new Star Trek show that was on last year, other than that, you let me know.
All right. Okay. So then best new TV. Wait a minute. We have best TV show, and then we have best new TV show.
Yeah, we had that in the category last year. I think that was our way of honoring some of the things that were not legacy shows.
Well, we can probably toss Wakanda, Ironheart, and Murderbot. I think, right?
It depends. I mean,
or do you want to keep them?
How many? How many do we have in this category? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8.
I know I know the 2 I'm voting for. If this is the list.
Yeah, I think there's 2 that stand out here to me, but because they are also the only 2 survivors in the upper category for best TV show.
I was gonna say, well, we can leave this one alone. I think it's fine.
Yeah. Unless
you guys think Ironheart doesn't need to be in there. That was the goofy one with the girl, right?
Ironheart was yes, it had a female lead. Yes.
And not that that's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying that was when they dropped all the episodes.
That was the other one where they kind of flushed it in 4 episodes in one day.
Yeah. Okay. Best actor. Okay.
All right, I'll run through these ones. This is a tough one. Okay, Babu Sise for Alien Earth Season 1.
Now, who is that character?
The cyborg guy.
Is the cyborg guy, the one who survives the crash.
Oh, yes. Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
David Corrin Sweat, Superman, played Superman. Diego Luna for Andor Season 2. Ethan Peck for Star Trek Strange New World Season 3. Lewis Pullman, who played the Sentry in Thunderbolts. Adam Scott for Severance Season 2. Stellan Skarsgård for Andor Season 2. And Tremel Tillman for Severance Season 2.
So why didn't you add the android guy from Justified as a nominee?
Do you think his performance was worthy of being on this list?
I think so.
You feel free to add him.
I can't remember his name. You know his name. You say it out loud. Come on.
Cyborg guy from Alien, or no, not that one. Android guy is what I meant.
Yeah, him. That guy. Guy from Justified.
Kirsch, Timothy Oliphant.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say. I was thinking elephants. Yeah, no, there we go.
Were you? You couldn't remember either?
No, I was blanking.
Okay.
You just were like, because his name's Timothy.
No, I don't. Actually.
I just thought Babu Sise was the best performer in that show, other than maybe Sidney Chandler, who played the lead.
Well, the two kids were pretty interesting too. Those two, the ones that he corners, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't help me type.
Apparently it's OLY.
Okay, that's fine.
That's not how I would have guessed, but I'm like, oh.
Mm. And what about Nathan Fillion in Superman?
Again, if you feel strongly that person should be included, you go right ahead. I did not think that was an award.
Or the guy who played Jimmy Olsen. Come on.
Can we just... There are there's three people on this list who are, I think, far and away above the others on here. And
okay.
I feel like
you're entitled to your opinion.
It's a tough category. Again, I do these off the top of my dome based on what are the other nominees in the different categories. If you want to add things, that's why we have this conversation.
No, it's fine. Carry on.
Jaime, any other omissions or feel strongly that anyone here should be? I mean, we could put not Ethan Peck. We could put what's his name? The guy with the hair.
Adam Scott?
No. What's his from Strange New Worlds? The Captain Pike.
Oh yeah, him. Manson Mount.
Anson. Yeah, there we go.
But you think his performance was great?
I mean, I think he's always great. I really enjoy. I mean, he definitely had some tough stuff to do in this last season where his partner's, dying, and, like he had some good turns, some good acting
turns. Did you see that Western movie, the Western show that he was in with Chief O'Brien?
No, I heard that was good though.
I enjoyed it. I watched the whole thing.
Is that Hell on Wheels or whatever?
The Swede was, Hell on Wheels. The Swede was a great character.
Mm.
All right, so am I up now?
Yeah, and this is another murderer's row too.
Wait, okay, so best actress.
Oh,
what?
This is a tough category.
Adria Arjona from Andor Season 2, Sidney Chandler from Alien Earth Season 1, Elizabeth Dallow from Andor Season 2, Rebecca Ferguson from Silo Season 2, Celia Rose Gooding from Star Trek Strange New World Season 3, Britt Lauer from Severance Season 2, Genevieve O'Reilly from Andor Season 2, Florence Pugh from Thunderbolts, Rhea Seehorn from Pluribus Season 1, and Sadie Sink from Stranger Things Season 5.
And I think you could, if you wanted to, add Christina Chong from Strange New World Season 3 as well, because I thought she had a real standout Season 2. I didn't put her in there because I already put in Celia Rose Gooding. But yeah, that was another, I thought she was terrific last season.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, what's her first name again?
Christina Chong.
And what about who's going to do the next? I think Jaime is up for next and most anticipated movie.
Well, can we just, for best actress, am I missing anybody? This was off the top of the dome. But I mean, this or best TV show are the two.
And Penguin wasn't this season?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Was that in?
I feel like that was the season before, wasn't it?
Ooh,
Penguin.
I'm gonna have to look up Penguin. Because you want Krista Milioti then, right?
Yeah, no, I agree, but I do feel like
she was in last.
I think it was in last year's. Yeah.
2024.
There
we
go.
TV series. Yeah.
Yeah.
This when in 24? Oh, it was September, November.
Category.
Yeah, it was definitely out of the year.
picking between the 4 actresses from Andor is, or 3 actresses from Andor is tough. Or, no, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3 of them. I can't even choose between the 3 of them, let alone go from there. My God, what a incredible bounty of amazing performances by women this last year. All right, Jaime, most anticipated movie.
Most anticipated movie: Avengers: Doomsday, Disclosure Day, Dune Part 3, Godzilla Minus Zero, The Hunger Games: Sunrise on the Reaping, The Mandalorian and Grogu, Masters of the Universe, Project Hail Mary, Spider-Man: Brand New Day, Supergirl, and the Super Mario Galaxy movie.
Again, a really good category. I think
Maybe.
Well, I honestly, I don't know that the 3 of us would have the same answer.
Yeah, no, I definitely would. That would be true.
Like, this is a much better movie.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, definitely. I could see a couple. I can see 3 that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not the ones you guys are thinking of. All right.
And I'll do most anticipated TV show. This is this is a weird one because I don't know if you want to include this. Do we want to include Night of the Seven Kingdoms? It'll be halfway over by the time we do it, but technically all within 2025 or 2026.
But is it most anticipated, do you think?
Yeah. Okay. Were you hyped for something that's half over? Also, Starfleet Academy's on here too.
I mean, the Night of the Seven Kingdoms, I wasn't expecting that to be as good as it is.
Well, but that's Starfleet Academy is on here as well because it is all within 2026. It's just a matter of I don't know.
It's sort of weird. I understand where people are going, hey, Starfleet Academy and A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, if we bounce them because they're already on, how could it be anticipated if we're already seeing them? There's nothing to anticipate. I feel like it's just one of those like weird award shows things, right? We got to choose a time. This is why Shogun seemingly was best TV show for like 2 years. I was like, no, it's because the Emmys and the Golden Globes have different timelines. Critics' Choice has a different timeline.
So we have 14 shows in this season here, right? Or this category. Mm-hmm. I don't have a problem keeping these 14.
Yeah, and Wonder Man's the other one that's on this list that's now dropped in its entirety. This
I haven't started watching
a couple days ago. So
okay,
yeah,
no, I'm okay with that.
Yep.
And did you pick up the best streaming service from last year?
Sorry, I should read these out. I didn't actually read the list.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
Night of the Seven Kingdoms Season 1, Blade Runner 2099 Season 1, The Boys Season 5, Daredevil Born Again Season 2, House of the Dragon Season 3, Invincible Season 4, Lanterns, the new Green Lantern series, Lanterns Season 1, Spider Noir, the Spider-Man Spider-Verse series on Amazon Season 1, Star Trek Starfleet Academy Season 1, Star Trek Strange New World Season 4, Star Wars Maul Shadow Lord Season 1, Vision Quest Season 1, Wonder Man Season 1, and X-Men 97 Season 2. That's the anticipated TV shows list. If there's anything else missing, I don't know. This is everything I could find. And there's some stuff that's like really questionable as to whether or not it's going to come out this year too.
Okay.
Even Vision Quest, I wouldn't.
What is Vision Quest about?
That's the third and final in the sort of trilogy of Agatha All Along and
okay. Yeah.
WandaVision.
The WandaVision series. This is the third part of that story. Mm-hmm. And then one last category just for good measure.
Yeah, I think Hulu and Crave, we put them in one because they are one, like Crave is Canada only, Hulu's US only, right?
Well, and Hulu now has been merged with Disney Plus in the States too. So I don't know if we want to, Jaime, can we get a ruling?
But Max is also Crave, isn't it, here?
It is, but Crave is more like, it's weird because Crave is more than just Max. It's got the Max content, but it's also got its own original content, plus it's got different stuff.
Yeah, I feel like sort of Voltroning Disney Plus and Hulu makes sense given that they're tied so closely.
Should we call them Disney Plus / Hulu as one category?
I think that's probably the category. Yeah. The fun one will be if Netflix Max becomes the next one. Or Paramount Plus Max. Yeah. We'll leave that for next year, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, where's Warner Brothers landing too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think this is good. So, but and then I think I just had one after this category, which I can put back together again, is what do people have? What do people watch?
Yeah, I think you added that on last year, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'll do that.
All right, we feel good about this?
Yeah, so did we read this one out?
I mean, it's best streaming service. You can pick your best streaming service.
Well, but I'm saying we didn't read it.
Okay, we did read it.
For those of you driving at home or transporting at home, Amazon Prime, Apple TV, no longer Plus, Crave minus, Disney Plus / Hulu, Max, Netflix, Paramount Plus, Tubi, and Pluto TV. I put that in there. All right,
but I expect you to vote for Pluto TV now.
No, you don't. I just put it in there because somebody will want to have it in there. And then on that note, let's move on to the watch list. So I'll put together the list and I'll start sending out the emails, and we'll let it go for probably. You want to do it for a week, or how long do you want to do it for?
Let's see how quick the response is, because it is nice to share it around.
Yeah, but I had to tell people to share it with their friends at work and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, last year we had a record number of participants. Hopefully this year we'll eclipse even that.
Yeah. I can probably pull the emails of people who gave us and just make sure that they revote.
See, we're harvesting information.
Sneaky.
Yeah.
Yeah. We told people we weren't harvesting for that reason. All right, let's move on to the watch list. Jaime, you're up first.
Yeah, we've got a special event for The Muppet Show, a one-night special event coming to Disney Plus and ABC in the U.S. on February 4th.
It's one night only? What?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a series, but it is a special event.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
With Seth Rogen. Unclear if it's Seth Rogen, or whatever his character's name is in the studio.
Yeah.
Unclear at this moment. Sabrina Carpenter, and I'm sure more guest stars, and the Muppets themselves, of course.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I love The Muppet Show. It was one of my all-time favorite shows, and cannot wait. Absolutely cannot wait.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
My picks. Well, okay. Just to jump on the bandwagon, my wife and I watched Sinners over the last week. I know you both have already commented on it. Just wanted to throw my 2 cents in and say I also thought it was really interesting movie. Some good performances for sure. I'm not sure that it's 16 Oscar nominations. Great, but it was really enjoyable. I thought Michael B. Jordan playing the twins was really strong, and I thought that the filmmaking. I think if I was going to cast the vote for one thing, it would be Ryan Coogler's direction. I think the big dance scene where it's shifting and stuff, the choreography there was gorgeous, just really exquisite filmmaking. But yeah, that was. I definitely agree with the sentiment that both of you brought, which is that it's definitely an interesting take on a genre story, and also a lot like Dusk Till Dawn. I mentioned it earlier. I read the first Night of the Seven Kingdoms novella, The Hedge Knight. Thoroughly enjoyed it. It was very, very breezy, very easy to read. Definitely a different level of intensity than reading the Game of Thrones books. Very, very easy, very, very quick, and very focused. Again, it's about these two characters and where they meet and what happens, and you're in and you're out in a very short period of time. I would say anybody who's enjoying the series and wants to, you might want to wait till the end to read it. I was really actually quite taken by the fact that some stuff from the Game of Thrones books definitely has made its way in verbatim, and some of the dialogue, some of the plot details and stuff like that have definitely made it in verbatim. Here, there's a lot of stuff that's coming straight from George's writing. The dialogue that's come from the first 2 episodes, they're straight lifts right out of stuff that Duncan Egg and some of the other characters say in the book. So it's a pretty faithful adaptation so far. The changes that they've made so far from the show to the book all make perfect sense and does not diminish the book in any way. Does not, there's no negative connotations at all. I really, really enjoyed it and would highly recommend that if you want to wait till the end of the series so that you're not spoiled, that's a good thing too. But if you want to get ahead and sort of see what's going to happen, you can get through that book real fast because it's, as I say, it's just a novella. It's pretty brief.
There's only 8 episodes though, right?
6.
Oh, okay. So yeah. We're almost there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you don't have to wait long if you want to wait. And if you do want to jump ahead, like I say, it's a quick and easy read. And I got to be honest, I think it's some of George's best writing. I think it it has a confidence to his writing that I really, really enjoy, and it doesn't get as bogged down as some of the other books that I've read of his. On the Game of Thrones front, so Game of Thrones started 15 years ago, if you can believe it. The first season of Game of Thrones came out in 2011, so it's been a long time. And I had mentioned it to my wife in the past. Hey, maybe this is something you might enjoy. I know you don't necessarily like extreme violence, but there's a lot of drama and intrigue and romance and action and fun stuff that you might. And the other day she said to me, I feel like we should watch a show together, maybe something that you've seen that I might like. And I said, what did you have in mind? She said, I think I'd like to watch Game of Thrones. And I was like, really? 15 years later, here we are. So we started our watch. This is the first time in, probably 5 or 6 years that I've rewatched all of Game of Thrones. So we started at the beginning. We watched the first few episodes. And, they got her. They got her in the first couple episodes, even by the end of the first episode, which is, if you'll recall, ends with Bran climbs up the tower and sees Jaime and Cersei going at it, and they catch him and they throw him out a window. And she was just like, what? Mm-hmm. So she was definitely hooked in pretty fast and was pretty enjoyed that a fair bit. So I will hopefully have some more anecdotes as we go. I don't know if I shared it with you too. There's a terrific social media follow that I made last year where it was a person who was watching Game of Thrones for the first time with her husband. And she is a Black woman in the United States. And it was hilarious watching her react. She would make these reaction videos where, they would cut together her watching this whole thing down to like a minute. And it's like, oh my God, they're not gonna, oh my God. And she's just like flipping out. I honestly feel like I'm going to surreptitiously start recording when I know something really bad is going to happen. Which may be a little cruel to my wife, but I kind of want to see how she's going to react when she's like, oh, I can't believe they pushed that kid out of the window. I'm like, you have no idea what you're in store for. There's so much darker stuff that's coming. So anyway, fair. I think this is going to be a fun little journey for the next little while. So I'll keep you abreast of how this goes.
So I put the Running Man on here, but we talked about this in the after show last week. That we didn't include the Running Man, and I thought I'd put it in. This is the Edgar Wright version of the Running Man, which is closer to the actual book. And yeah, I think it's definitely a should watch for people. It was very enjoyable. It's not the Arnold Schwarzenegger ridiculous spandex. I mean, even the beginning, they make Schwarzenegger look like a hero and a war hero, and he goes wrong against the government, and they throw him into this pin. Here, it's the Running Man has a sick kid, and he needs the money for medicine, and it's in a future dystopian America. Well, imagine that.
Is it really
where healthcare is hard to get, and medicines cost a lot of money. It's complete fiction, I'm sure. But they have this TV show where you get to try your luck at beating the baddies, right? These paramilitary, muscle bound, bad people. You can't, again, total work of fiction. But yeah, and it's good. And Josh Brolin plays this smarmy television executive. And I think I mentioned something about, at one point they're playing there's a movie of the week playing is a movie called Skyjacked, which is actually James Brolin plays the hijacker on a plane, taking a plane to Russia, right? So, yeah, and that's sort of playing in the background. I thought that was a good little Easter egg for Edgar to put in there. But it's super enjoyable. If you're an Edgar Wright fan, for sure you'll love all the sort of director trademarks are in there. And who's the guy who plays the Running Man guy? What's his name? Have to scroll back. Running Man. Here we go. His name is, waiting for this thing to refresh. Come on.
Was the dude from Top Gun?
Yeah, it? the new Tom Cruise guy. Yeah, him. Here it is. Hang on. Glenn Powell. Yes. The flavor of the week is Glenn Powell. Yeah, I mean, a lot of good people in the Coleman Domingo's in there, William H. Macy's in there, Lee Pace is in there.
It's a good list.
So Michael Cera's in there. So it's a good bunch of people. Daniel Ezra, I don't remember, isn't he from some? He was one of the Marvel guys, I think. Anyway, but I also happen to, I don't know about you guys, but are you familiar with the book Harold and the Purple Crayon?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've never read the book. I'm not familiar with it all, but I can sort of see, like, when I heard they had made this movie, I thought, I'm never going to watch that. And I just happened to be working away on my computer, and I had Crave on in the background, and it started playing, and it was actually pretty enjoyable. They've sort of taken the idea of the story and brought it into the real world, right? And Harold tries to find his creator, right, which is the author who is obviously now dead, right? But it was an interesting little take on that. So it was a fun movie if you're looking for a little diversion. It's a good time. It's my Paw Patrol. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it got pretty roasted, as I recall, when it came out.
Did it?
Yeah,
it was okay. It was okay. I mean, it's not meant to be like rocket science, right?
28% on Rotten Tomatoes by critics.
Huh, well, that was fun. I think if you were a kid, you would enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, the concept is a super fun one, right? You can draw everything and it comes to life, and yeah, I mean, it sounds like a winner no matter how you do it. I don't know if it's just people that really didn't like Zach Levi, or I don't know what.
Yeah, Zach Levi and the guy from the Flight of the Conchords.
Jermaine Clement.
Yeah, he plays the bad guy in it, right?
Yeah, I know Little Wells in that too, right? Laura Howery.
Yeah.
I really like him.
And the girl who plays the porcupine is really fun too. Anyway, yeah, it's sort of like, these people come into the real world and they try and figure things out, and it's a trope that's been done before, right?
Oh, yeah.
So
here
come to life.
Yeah.
Anyway, on that note, we'll wrap it up here, and so we'll say, Jonathan, if people are going to touch with you, where would they find you?
Well, you can start on our Slack channel, where you're always welcome, and happy to share lots of fun content on there. And if you don't want to find me there, I would say try Instagram. I'm at GPK News.
All right, and Jaime, if people want to find you on Instagram, where would they look?
I'm on Instagram as @devwithahair.
All right, my name is Dimitra, TIMMITRA, and of course I am lurking on Blue Sky and Threads and Substack and Reddit and which is the new Canadian social network.
Oh,
it's our own true social.
I was hoping that we were going to get. I honestly was thinking about that the other day. I'll have to look at that.
What, A?
Hey, I didn't know there was one. I was honestly thinking.
I mentioned it. I'm sure I mentioned it last week.
Oh, that's great. Sorry, I must have tuned out for that. Apologize.
And it's spelled how you think it's spelled. Although I tend to write A with a question mark, but I guess I was wrong. And then so social networks. That's pretty much my handle everywhere. And so until next time, we'll see you in the future. Bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Spotcast podcast. If you want to find out more about the podcast or see the episode show notes, visit the Spotcast website at spotcast.com. If you have feedback or questions, you can get in touch with us on the website. If you like the show, please consider recommending us to a friend, writing a review on iTunes, or pledging any amount at patreon.com/spotcast. You can find details on how to help us on our website, spotcast.com/sponsor us. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the future.
About Bill Belichick. So what else is there to talk about tonight?
The Seattle Seahawks, I guess.
Oh, could be. Oh, who's in the Super Bowl?
Seahawks and the Patriots. It's a rematch from
is it?
11 years ago,
really?
12 years ago.
But where is it taking place, though?
In San Francisco.
San Francisco, yeah.
Okay, and Mr. Bunny is playing?
Bad Bunny is the halftime show, and Green Day are the opening act.
Yeah.
And there's somebody else who's doing the anthem?
That I don't know off the top of my head.
Somebody of import. See, I know more about sports than you guys do.
That's not sports. I'm sorry. That's not sports. Knowing who's singing the songs is not sports.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, I know that.
Which Super Bowl is it?
60, actually. Pretty big deal.
It says here Grammy-nominated singer Charlie Puth.
Country singer.
Who? No, it was something else. It was a third controversial. It's XXLX, right? Okay, maybe I misheard it.
There's a variety here because after that is Who's Singing America the Beautiful.
That's the one.
Brandy Carlisle. Who's singing Lift Every Voice and Sing.
Stephen Miller's going to go bananas
Coco
over that
Jones.
One, right? That was what it was. Somebody who's singing America the Beautiful. Okay. When would they sing that, though?
I'm honestly at a loss. I'm not sure some of these even show up on the broadcast.
Really? Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. Will Green Day show up on the broadcast? That's a good question.
Green Day, I expect will, as will Bad Bunny. Both pretty popular with a certain segment of the American populace. Maybe not the same ones that are fans of Charlie Puth and Brandy Carlisle, but
I heard the president won't be there to throw the coin away this time.
No, apparently he is boycotting the Super Bowl because of the halftime show.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yes, he's
because an American star is singing at the halftime show.
Yeah. I think it was because the American star will not be singing in English is the part that he had an issue with. And also Green Day have been rewriting the lyrics to some of their songs in concert to express their particular perspective on the American political situation currently.
That's a shame.
Yes, it would be a shame if they were to take some sort of political stand here at this event.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Jaime, are you of the opinion, do you share my opinion that the Seahawks should mop the floor with these guys?
They do say any given Sunday you don't want to jinx stuff, but people aren't going to want to hear, no disrespect to the Patriots here, but I watched that game between the Denver Broncos backup quarterback who did not play all season, not a single pass, and the only reason that the Patriots ended up winning, or Drake May specifically ended up scoring a touchdown, is because said backup quarterback for the Broncos made the worst play you'll ever see.
You aren't wrong, buddy. You aren't wrong.
To set the Patriots up at the 5-yard line, and you still got to make it in.
Pass, the seldom used backwards pass. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I think the football gods have done nothing but smile and look down at the Patriots all season, from the weakness of their schedule to the disasters in their division to the disasters to the other teams in the playoffs so far. I just have no faith in those guys, but maybe the football gods have just deigned them. I don't know. I just feel like the Seahawks are head and shoulders better team.
They're an interesting team. If you're going to give the sort of the bear case for the Seahawks, I'm going to talk about the Minnesota Vikings for a sec, but hear me out. It plays pretty well. So if you're a Minnesota Vikings fan, you're like, hey, we had Sam Darnold, who is now the Seahawks quarterback. He did great in the regular season, and he just absolutely pooped the bed in the postseason. And they said, maybe this isn't the guy. We'll try the newbie. He comes to the Seahawks. He's now in the Super Bowl. You should be shedding tears if you're a fan of the Vikings.
I assume if you're a fan of the Vikings, you're just crying most of the time anyways.
But in this case, for the Bear case, you might say, well, is Darnold going to get over the hump here? Or is he going to have the wheels fly off and throw 5 backwards passes that get returned for touchdowns or something? It's tough when the big lights come on.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be an interesting one, because there's certainly a case to be made in a few different ways that this should be a floor mopping by the Seahawks. But you're right, any given Sunday stuff can happen, and you just never know. But wow, I just if you had the Seahawks and Patriots on your bingo card this year, then God bless you. You are a miracle worker. Didn't see that one coming.
What else is going on?
What else is going on? Question. Winter is here.
How is your winter going?
It's snowing again today, as it has most days here for the last 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We heard we got like 40 centimeters or something.
Your lovely wife sent me some photos of you digging at the backyard and digging out your car and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I was saying to I actually stopped in Fredericton on my way home from St. John tonight to drop some stuff with Xavier, and Fredericton is not quite as, they don't generally get quite as bad as we do up here, but they got a walloping at the tail end of that storm too, because it stretched right across where you guys got hit, and then it went through here, but it just kind of nicked us up here, and it landed on central New Brunswick and to Nova Scotia. So they got kind of a lot more kabonged. But the difference is the snow here is so dry because it's so cold that it comes down as very, very fine powder. It doesn't have that weight that Ontario snow often has. Now, I understand that there was kind of a mix from what you guys got.
No, we had it was all powder. Like for us, it was like, because it was so cold, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, we didn't get, like, it's like you pick up a shovelful and it weighs nothing. Right? Well, the shovel is heavier.
That's what we get almost all the time. We occasionally we'll get a little bit of humidity in our moisture, but from both when I moved here last year as right into this year, I have to shovel virtually every single day, which is more than I can ever say back home in Mississauga. But the snow weighs nothing, so it's not like I'm like hurting my back shoveling like that dense Ontario humid thick
wet snow. Yeah.
We just don't get that here, which is a big mercy because it snows constantly, just unendingly. It snows here all the time. I have the funny thing is, off the side of my deck there are 6-foot piles of snow, maybe even higher than that. But if you jumped off it, it would just disappear. It's cold enough.
Oh, because you mean it just blows off the deck, you mean?
No, because I shovel it. I shovel it right off the side of the deck. And so there's this huge pile of snow there, but there's nothing to it. It's just kind of sitting there. And the only thing that ever changes is that some of the denser layers of it start to harden because it's just that cold. But the top layer of it is just powder. So, yeah. So, I mean, that's at least a mercy.
Yeah, I mean, I had to dig out the backyard because I had piles of snow and like it confuses the dogs. So they look at it and they just see it as a solid obstacle, but they don't realize they could just walk right through it, right? So
yeah.
But I just took Mac to Mac's 13 years old. I just took Mac to the park for the first time today because the sidewalks have been impassable because nobody's shoveling their sidewalks. Hello, Toronto.
Yeah, that's not great.
So it's difficult to get him up and down. But and Saoirse was hopping like a bunny through the snow the other day, right?
Yeah. How does she do with the extreme cold? Because I've noticed that here is.
I mean, I've always put I have a horse blanket jacket that goes over Mac, and I bought one for him when he was puppy or when he was younger, but it was already too small. So she wears his, and I was telling some woman at the park the other day, she has a golden, same age as Saoirse, but a male, so he's much bigger, but they grew up together. Like when they were playing when they were little, you couldn't tell them apart. But she sort of like asked about the jacket. I said, well, she doesn't really need it, but he does, right? Because he doesn't really move that fast, right? It's the wind. The wind is the worst part coming off that big park, right? Coming up the Don Valley, and then I wear 2 pairs of gloves. I have like leather mittens, which are insulated, and then I have insulate gloves inside, and my fingers still freeze.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I feel you there.
That's the worst. My fingers freezing is like the worst feeling in the world, right?
Yeah.
So like, and then I've got a hat, but I have to put the hood up because you need that extra air pocket to keep relatively cool. And then I've got I'm wearing sweaters and snow pants and long johns and and good Columbia jackets, and I'm still cold, right? So
yeah,
it's not fun. But we're only. Spring is coming. I've always said that as soon as the first snowflake flies, I channel the Game of Thrones. I say, spring is coming.
Yeah, it's weird. Again, like it's such a different type of cold here than it is back in Ontario. Like it's just that lack of moisture just makes it so much more bearable. I just don't feel it in my bones like I did back there. Here, it's bloody cold, and you definitely feel like you can get frostbite real fast here. But I just don't feel it.
We drove up we went to a Macworld in Boston, which was usually in early February. It was actually we went to Macworld, and we drove up from Boston to visit Pat at the farm in Woodstock, right? And that was the one where I got sick and Carol had to drive through the snow, but it was like powder, but it was just like you couldn't see the road.
Yeah.
Right. And it was like just 2 single tracks of tire tracks through the thing. And we just got in behind somebody else and just drove up. And the next day we got up and everybody was sitting in the living room with their, their dressing gowns on. And we went, "Aren't you going to work?" And they're like, "Nope. The bank's closed, so all the businesses are closed," right?
Yeah. It
was long before internet banking and that kind of stuff, right? So, probably had web banking, but nobody used it, right? And like here in Toronto, it doesn't matter what happens, you're going to work, right? So even if it takes you 2 hours to get there on streetcar or whatever,
in particular if you're a provincial employee.
But it's funny, So we went to Indira's viewing the other day, and on the way home. We drove over with Chloe and Aruna, my sister and her wife, and Carol and I, and we decided to go in one car because we had to drive across the city, and it was the day it was snowing like crazy, right? But on the way back, we came back on Broadview, and all of the streetcars. What happens I don't know if you know, we have a lot of streetcars here, right? But when the streetcars can't drive, they end up piling up one behind each other.
Oh, yes, they do.
Right? Until it clears up. So all of Broadview was like from the top of where the subway station is all the way down to presumably to where we would have wanted to turn into our house was blocked up. So we kind of took a shortcut down one of the streets north of us. And then we foolishly said to Chloe and Aruna, "Oh, we can walk from here. It's only a couple of blocks to our house." That was probably a 10-minute walk through. And I have pictures of it. I'll send you pictures of it. And you can see the tops of the cars are covered. And you're going to laugh at me, but the tops of the cars are covered with like 2.5 feet of snow at that point.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
So, and thankfully, Carol wore her long, dog walking coat, so she wasn't, too bad, right? So, but yeah, it was, and we got home, and it was like you couldn't see. There was no steps to the front of the house, and what was happening was it would pile on the roof, and then it would just blow off of the roof. And so, I have a picture of the back door that's like the snow is almost up to the handle of the shovel, like that's how much snow there was. So I will post these pictures in the Slack channel for everybody to enjoy. I think, didn't I put pictures up? I didn't last week. Yes, no, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a couple in there.
I put a picture of the backyard, and Keen put a picture of his
his kids playing. Yeah,
playing in the snow. But yeah, I'll post these ones now that we're talking about it. Upload from computer photos. Yeah, so this is me, and of course I used the spatial mode on my my Vision Pro to capture these, so they're in glorious 3D, although you guys don't have glorious 3D on your devices. And here's one of Sorsha at the park. So this is last Sunday.
Yeah, we'll say it, for all the cold that we have here, I take the dogs out, in the middle of the night constantly. And it has been cold enough here that even my very hardy dogs, after they take their time, but after like 6 or 7 minutes, they start like lifting their paws off the ground, that they're starting to get cold now. That's when I know that it's truly cold outside, is when even my dogs, who are like very hardy,
rugged,
are like, it's time to go inside. I'm like, okay, good to know.
Yeah, I just bought Mac a pair of mucklucks because he's having trouble. He's forgotten how to climb up the stairs to the back of the house. So you have to go and coach him.
Yeah.
You have to go coach him. So he can do it, but you have to remind him to lift his paw up onto the first step.
Yeah. All right. Well, good to catch up, boys. Well, let's see how we start sharing the Spocky stuff around. Share the link whenever you get it, and I'll throw it around the socials, and we'll take it for a spin, and we'll see what
do that thing.
We'll see where we're at by next Thursday afternoon, and decide whether we want to pull the plug on it and do it, or we want to just keep going.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
Bye. Talk to you later.
All right. Have a good weekend, guys.
Bye.
Bye.